women are devalued if they don't meet beauty standards, but men's values increases if they do. Hi everyone and welcome back to my channel. In today's video, we're gonna be discussing the effect on mass media on beauty standards. So first of all, we need to understand what's a beauty standard. The concept of beauty standard is made up of two words, beauty and standard. According to the Oxford Dictionary, beauty is a combination of qualities such as shape, color, or form that pleases the aesthetic senses, especially the sight. And standard is either a level of quality or attainment, or something used as a measure, norm, or model in comparative evaluations. So therefore, we can say that the beauty standard is a standard of beauty that you must achieve according to society. And the relation of this with media is that mass media conditions girls and women to think about how they and women in general must look. They show this unattainable ideal of beauty in mass media, then they make young girls believe that this is how they must look like. The representation of beauty in mass media constantly is trying to make you want to achieve an unattainable ideal of beauty and men's approval. And why is the representation of beauty in mass media unattainable? Well, because of computers and digital alterations. We're basically comparing our regular, normal ourselves, people that are wearing clothes and makeup that favor them are with a specific lighting, or maybe then using filters or digitally altered. There's many factors that we don't take into account when comparing ourselves to people that we see in magazines or TV shows. Like even the use of a filter can make a whole difference. Like this is me with normal lighting and this is me with a filter. So even like clothes or makeup that really suit your face or your body, that can also make a huge difference. So there's many aspects that we need to consider before comparing ourselves with someone we see on mass media. So comparing yourself to someone that was put through so many conditions and factors that you don't know of is just inaccurate and in a way like unattainable. It's really troubling to compare yourself to that. And that leads me to one of the first points of the video, which has to do with advertisements and profit. So how does media benefit economically? So yeah, a part comes from viewers and consumers, like literally people that go to the movies and watch, or people that buy magazines, etc. But a significant part does come from advertisements, and it can be advertisements whether like when you're watching a TV show and like the publicity comes on, like that break. That publicity break, or it can also be through the advertisements on the movie that are in the movie itself. And that's the purpose of mass media, and we often don't know that. People in general base what they want to look like on the stars, the TV stars, or like the actors and actresses that they see in lead roles. And the idealized beauty in media makes viewers, especially women, want to pursue this idea of unattainable beauty, of unachievable beauty that they see in the protagonists or characters in mass media. Girls are constantly encouraged to achieve an impossible standard, and ads are based on making you feel anxious or that there's a problem with you, and constantly trying to make you feel like you'll never be beautiful enough, which then makes you buy a beauty product. So it's really interesting that the same stereotypes are portrayed over and over. They are created and maintained by mass media because they help to make people feel uncomfortable with their bodies, which then makes them buy a product. Really similar to fast fashion and trends, because you see it everywhere, and then at first you might be like, nah, I don't like that. Or like the same with beauty, like I guess we'd be like, oh yeah, that girl is really pretty, that actress is really pretty, but I know it's like but I know that they make her look like that, and not everyone, like I'm comfortable with myself. But then you start to see like gorgeous people everywhere, like on billboards, like singers, actresses, everywhere. And then you start normalizing it, just like with trends. You can be like, oh, I don't like that, those types of, like, for example, chunky rings. I don't like chunky rings. You might be like that. And then you start seeing them everywhere, and you're like, oh, maybe I do like chunky rings. It's the same. It helps to seeing it everywhere, helps you to normalize and internalize that, which then makes you want to like concrete a certain action, like buying a product. It's really similar in both cases. A quote that I really like, that really kind of, I think, is really relevant to the topic we're discussing, by researcher Ariel Kotler, and it says, "We are constantly surrounded by all sorts of media, and we construct our identities in part through media images we see." And I think that really kind of sums up what's the relevance of how beauty standards and beauty itself is represented in mass media. And this is all a subconscious effect. Another thing that I think is really relevant is that in media, representation of women is often limited to a woman's sexually fertile time. So most female characters are in their 20s and 30s. And that's a really big misrepresentation of reality, because then it's telling you that if you're not young, you're not desirable or not valuable. And the effect of this in men is that when they see this kind of representation in media, then they internalize it just like women, but they judge supermodels or like gorgeous actresses, etc., to real life women. And like even if that person doesn't even if like a supermodel doesn't actually look like how they can portray her in a runaway, we usually don't think about that, and then we start compare and judge people based on those two comparisons. Like the comparing aspect is really significant. And since we're talking about men, according to an article titled "Idealized Media Images and an Adolescent Body Image Comparing Boys and Girls," it was found that exposure to idealized commercials led to increased body dissatisfaction for girls, but not for boys. Idealized commercials led to increased negative mood and appearance comparison for girls and boys, although the effect on appearance comparison was stronger for girls. And another statistic that I think is really relevant, by the NEDA, that's the National Eating Disorder Association, in their article "Body Image and Eating Disorders." By age 6, girls especially start to express concerns about their own weight or shape. 40 to 60% of elementary school girls, ages 6 to 12, are concerned about their weight or about becoming too fat. And just to start concluding, I think that this is really problematic, because portraying impossible beauty standards can often lead to people in general to many like mental health and other issues like eating disorders. And it can also cause women and people to try to change themselves to fit into an image that they're not comfortable wanting to achieve. It's everything. It's really problematic, and it's also the reason why we as society need to have better representation of women and minorities in mass media, because mass media has a really important effect on society, and it helps to normalize and internalize many things. So if we diversify and increase representation in mass media, then we can have a really positive effect in society. So that was today's video. I think it's a little bit shorter than the videos I'm used to doing, but I think it was really interesting to investigate about this topic. I think it's also something that we need to be aware when comparing ourselves to other people we see, because we never know what's going on. And I think this also really applies to social media, not just mass media. Thank you so much for watching. Please remember to subscribe, like, comment if you have any questions or want to say your own opinion on the subject. Remember that from 5 p.m. to 6 p.m. every Saturday, there's a live stream, and you're free to join, and we can discuss different topics like the effect of mass media in beauty standards. All the sources that I used for my research of the script for this video are gonna be in a document in the description, so you can check that out and also make your own research about everything. Thank you so much for watching, and see you next time.